morning, everyone. It is Sarah here at Midwife Your Garden, and it is just an exceptionally beautiful morning. We've got lots of little caterpillars doing their thing. I know I'm supposed to leave them out and about, but it's a lot easier for the kids to see them doing their thing when they're in the protection. So that's where we have them. But I just wanted to give you a quick June garden update about what's growing. So let me take you along. The front looks like kind of a hot mess because of all the dill that's going to seed. I do need to take most of that out, but we just wanted to make sure we got through the caterpillars first. But I do not need that reseeding everywhere, so we will probably take it out before it really gets seeded. The strawberries we just planted this season, and they are growing abundantly and fantastically. We have a few little stalk flowers growing in here, lots of milkweed that has just volunteered itself, so we leave that for the monarchs. So this area looks a little wild, but is doing really well. We got the sweet potatoes in, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, and they look great. They were big enough that the bunnies seems to be leaving them alone this year, so hopefully they will continue to grow really well. The mint is minting and being ridiculous and lovely and wonderful. The backyard is also a little chaotic, but we'll take you back there and show you. So the first thing we get when we get back here is this nectarine tree, which is really, the fruits are really suffering. I think the ants have really taken over everything in this nectarine tree, sorry. So in the future, we will probably need to spray this guy, but right now we're just letting it grow and be happy. The peaches, on the other hand, look great. They're doing really well. They have not been attacked by anything yet. They really did well with that pruning, and they are really quite happy. We have a mulberry tree in the corner that Molly really likes to enjoy. The garlic is doing great. We did get most of the scapes off. Apparently there's still one that we missed. We got most of the scapes off a week or two ago, so it should only be another week or so. I did pick one because I needed garlic for something, and it was a really reasonable sized bulb. The trickiest part is going to be that I did put cucumbers in here, and I do need to trellis them, and I still will need to get the garlic out from in between them. So that will be a little tricky, but they seem to be growing just fine in and amongst the garlic. So that's what's going to take over this bed when the garlic comes out. This bed is the chaos bed. There were some kohlrabi and arugula in here. The arugula all went to seed. The kohlrabi have not kohlrabied, but they're green and happy, so we're just kind of letting them do their thing. Lots of snapdragons, some weeds. This was supposed to be where peas grew. We have like 4 or 5 pea plants in here. They just really didn't germinate well this year, but they're doing their thing, even though it's supposed to get really, really hot. We threw a couple of zucchini in. This was radishes and carrots. The carrots also did not germinate terribly well this year, but we did just replant a bunch. So we'll see if those germinate. There's a couple spinach plants I need to get out that are going to seed, but pepper plants that are putting on good little peppers. So super excited about that. A couple little basil plants that are still hanging in there. The tomato plants on the other side of that trellis that look fantastically huge and ridiculous. This is what I sort of let chaos garden. So these are mostly radishes, and these little pods right here are actually really yummy and fun to add to salads and stuff. So we were gonna harvest a bunch of these, and then I really should pull these out. But the pollinators have just been enjoying them so much. But there are things under here. There's beets under there that are struggling a little bit because they're getting squished out by that. There are a couple zucchini plants on the other side. So I really should probably pull this out, but I just don't have the heart to do it with all those beautiful flowers. The brassica beds are equally confusing. All of the broccoli has come out, and they are dealt with and wonderful. In the next day or so here, I will probably come out and take these cauliflower out. There are, I think I had maybe 6 total that survived. but the cabbages are starting to really head up and do wonderfully. So I'm super excited about these. This cabbage is getting huge. You can see a little bit of green spots in there, which means we're getting some caterpillars in here. So I got to spray this again with BT, but it just keeps raining, which makes that a little bit trickier. We flipped our compost pile. We found what we think are probably minor bees in here. I'm going to leave them alone for now, but they've been crawling around all over. They let us take the compost though. They didn't seem to mind. So, tomatoes from the other side. The plan when we get these brassicas out was to reseed with like green beans or bush beans of some sort. I was trying to let the broccoli stay in so I could get side shoots. The ones you see here that are flowering, those are the ones that gave me sort of really open heads to start with, and didn't have really good compact heads. So I just left them for flowers for the pollinators. But I was expecting a lot more of these side shoots, and we're really not getting a ton of them. So these I might give up on them. It's been a couple weeks, and I may just pull them out. They had really beautiful heads. The heading was really fantastic. Marathon was, I think, my favorite, but they're just not giving me many side shoots, so I do think we're just gonna probably pull them pretty soon. We did get some squash in here, so these are pumpkins, and mostly for funds. We had tried to interplant, these are chickpeas, so we have a few little chickpea plants, but I don't think we're gonna get very many of those that are growing in here. But I think we're probably just gonna end up pulling this out pretty soon. The raspberry plants are trying their very best to survive with the weeds. This is arugula that self-sowed itself into the raspberry bed. The cherry tree looks very happy. We did not get cherries this year again from the blossoms happening right before the frost. And this is the flower bed. Like I said, we can only ever plant annual flowers in here because it does flood every year. But man, they look happy. This is a dahlia that's already huge, that's starting to put on some blooms. This is a dahlia that's starting to open already. The cosmos are just coming up. Those ones were just sowed with seed. We got a giant milkweed ready to do its job. Some stock, some more dahlias. The gladiola shoots are up. So somewhere, oh, here they are. Somewhere there's some zinnias hiding in there. But just generally very pretty, very happy. All right, we'll take you to the far garden and show you all the stuff that's growing there. All right, friends, this is the far garden, and these are some sunflowers. These are the potatoes, and they look insane. We may grab a couple potatoes today. They will not be ready until these leaves really start dying back, which they are clearly not doing just yet, but they have all flowered. I'm trying to see if I can even see any more flowers left, but they did flower, I promise. And so there should be some little baby potatoes hiding under there somewhere. The onions, the Napa cabbages did not do well, so I've never tried to grow those before, and now I see that they are sad. And then someone stole my regular cabbage, so that's exciting. But I'll get that last little Savoy. The onions are starting to bulb up a little bit. Let's see if I can find. So they're doing pretty well. They're still a little on the small side, but they have a few more weeks before I would expect them to be ready to harvest. The snapdragons are insanely beautiful. This little swath here that I decided I was going to plant flowers in with the peppers is mostly flowers. There are pepper plants in there, I swear, but the flowers are gorgeous. We'll pick a bouquet today. The carrots that are interplanted are doing well. I threw a couple of sunflowers in some patches that were a little empty. The tomatoes look wonderful. We cut off all those bottoms to kind of clean them up and got them tied up. And if you can see, lots of tomatoes on here. So that's about it, guys.